notice, and this is a typical copyright. We continue with the mathematics syllabus for CSEC exam 2018 to 2027. Schedule of videos. Right now, I am a little behind schedule for September 2024. A few videos behind schedule, but soon I hope to have section 1 number theory and computation all completed, all 33 videos, and published on YouTube. Then for the rest of October, consumer arithmetic, November 2024, sets, and December 2024, measurement. January 2025, statistics. February, algebra. March, relations, functions, and graphs. April, geometry and trigonometry. Finally, May, hopefully by mid-May, vectors and matrices. So section 1, I have divided into 33 videos, all of which will be made available on YouTube in their entirety. This section forms the foundation on which the rest of the syllabus is based. How well you can handle this section will predict how well you will do with the rest of the syllabus. So please look at all 33 videos from section 1 and decide if you will continue with the rest of the syllabus. So far, we have completed these 16 videos, completed and published on YouTube, plus some more here, from 17 to 26. All of those are completed and published. And right now, we are here, the second video in this objective, the second video in objective 12 of section 1, which is video 27. We still have to go up to 33. So we have a few more videos to finish this section. This is objective 12, where it says calculate any fraction or percentage of a given quantity. We did that in the last video, and in this video we will look at the second part of this objective, which says calculate the whole given a fraction or a percentage. So I have divided this objective into 2 videos. That one is finished and published. That was the last one. And now I am here. Calculate the whole given a fraction or a percentage. So first, let's look how to calculate the whole given a fraction. Now, if I were to ask you to find 3/4 of 80 kilograms, this is what you will do. You write 80 kilograms and you will multiply by 3/4 and you get 60 kilograms. I want you to note multiply by 3/4 carefully. So if you are given the whole of something and you want to find a fraction of it, you will multiply the whole amount by the fraction to get the fractional amount. Now, if I tell you that 3/4 of an amount is 60 kilograms, what would you do to find the whole amount? Well, think about it. Up here you are multiplying by the fraction. What do you think you should do now? Of course, divide by the fraction. So let's look at that same example in reverse. You now know that 60 kilograms is 3/4. You want to find a whole, so you divide the 60 kilograms, you divide it by 3/4, which really means that you are going to multiply the 60 kilogram, you inverse that 3/4, and so you multiply by 4/3, and you get back 80 kilograms. Now that is the principle on which this first part here, and even the second part, will be based. So to calculate the whole given a fractional amount, divide the amount you are given by the fraction. That is the principle we will use to calculate the whole given a fraction. Example 1, which is a fairly easy example. If half of a certain amount of money is $50, what is the whole amount? Now I know this is pretty easy. I mean, if half of the money is $50, then the whole amount must be 100. But we are learning a principle here that we will use in all such situations. So the solution is half is 50. We will divide that amount by the fraction. So we take $50, we divide it by half, which means we are going to take that 50 and multiply by the inverse of this, which would be 2/1, which gives us $100. Now that one was very easy, but it is the principle we are learning. So when we have numbers to deal with that are not so easy, we will apply the same principle. And then of course, once you get this answer, check your answer for correctness. Is half of the answer you get equal to $50? If it is, then you know that this answer is correct. That was example 1. Let's look at example 2. If 3/4 of a certain amount of money is $60, what is the whole amount? So you know the principle we are using. So 3/4 is $60. We will divide the amount we are given by the fraction. So $60 divide by 3/4, which would give us 60, multiply by the inverse of that, which would be 4/3, and so we get $80. Again, check your answer for correctness. Is 3/4 of 80 the same as 60? And if it is, your answer of 80 is correct. Example 3. A boy has a mass, some people call that weight, of 58.6 kilograms, which is 5/8 of the weight or the mass of the father. Now, what is the mass of the father? So 5/8 is 58.6. 5/8 is 58.6 kilograms. The principle we learn is to divide the amount you are given by the fraction. And so you take 58.6 kilograms, you divide that by 5/8, which gives us 56 kilograms, multiply by the inverse of 5/8, which is 8/5. You work that out and you get 93.76 kilograms. That should suffice for a CSEC, but if you want to be careful and you are dealing with 3 significant figures and your answer should not have more than 3 significant figures, then you will need to round off here, and so your answer would be 93.8 plus or minus half of that position, which is 0.05 kilograms. But I don't think you need to go here unless you are specifically told to do that. I think 93.76 should be acceptable. Check your answer for correctness. If you find 5/8 of this answer that you got here and you get back this amount, then your answer is correct. Example 4. If 5/12 of a journey is 100 kilometers, what is the distance of the whole journey? So 5/12 is 100 kilometers. Remember what we said, divide by the fraction. 100 kilometers divide by 5/12, which becomes 100 kilometers multiply by 12/5, which would give us 240 kilometers. Again, check your answer. Calculate 5/12 of the answer you get, and if that is the number you are given, then you are on the right track. If you find this video useful and interesting, please like and share. Like and share. You may even consider subscribing to this channel. As I said before, it doesn't cost you anything, and it means a lot to me. Now, secondly, we are now going to calculate the whole given a percentage. The last examples we were looking at, the first part of this video, we were calculating the whole given a fraction. But remember what I said, that the percentage is actually a fraction with a denominator of 100 always. So we will use that to calculate the whole given a percentage. Now, if 50% of a certain amount of money is $200, what is the total amount? Now, this is fairly easy, but again, we are trying to establish a principle. 50% means half. So if half of a certain amount of money is $200, then obviously you know that the full amount will be $400. So let's see how that goes. One way to do this is to express the percentage as a fraction and then do the calculation as if you were given a fraction like we did in the previous half of this video. So solution, 50% is 50 over 100, and that is $200. So that we will divide that $200 by this fraction, 50 over 100, and that means that we will multiply it by its inverse, 100 over 50, and that gives us 400. Now note something, please. I'm not teaching you this, but you can pick this up on your own. Notice that this number was multiplied by 100 and then divided by the percentage that you were given. That's another thing you can learn on your own. So check your answer for correctness. Is 50% of 400 200? And the answer is yes. Example 2, if 35% of a certain amount of money is $140, what is the total amount of money? Now you see, this is where the principle comes into play, because this is not as easy as the previous example, example 1. So we follow the same procedure. 35 over 100, we express the percentage as a fraction, and then we work it as if though that fraction is $140. So $140 divide by the fraction, which means that we are now going to multiply by the inverse of this fraction, which will be 100 over 35, which will give us $400. Again, note please that you are multiplying the amount you are given by 100, and then you divide by the actual value there of 35. As I said, this is something you can learn on your own. It's a different method, which is not the method I'm teaching you right now. Check your answer for correctness. Is 35% of your answer, which is $400, is 35% of that $140? And if it is, then you know that 400 is the correct answer. Example 3, if 75% of a certain amount of money is $200, what is the total amount of money? So we said we will convert that percentage into a fraction, which represents the 200, and then we will divide the 200 by the fraction, which gives us 200 multiplied by the inverse of that fraction, to be 100 over 75, which gives us $266.67. Again, that other method I was telling you about, Notice you multiply that 200 by 100 and then divide by 75. So check your answer for correctness. Is 75% of the answer that you got here, is that equal to $200? And if it is, then this answer that you got here is correct. 12.5% of a certain mass is 450 kilograms. What is the total? So we will carry 12.5% to a fraction, and that will be 2 times 12, 24 and 1, 25 over 200. So 25 over 200 is 450 kilograms. So then 450 kilograms divided by 25 over 200, which gives us 425 multiplied by the inverse of that, which would be 200 over 25, which would give us this. Now, incidentally, you could have still multiplied this by 100 if you like, and instead of dividing by 25, divide by the percentage you are given there, 12.5, and you will still get this same answer. So if you are following that system, or if you are trying to develop your own system by multiplying this by 100 and then dividing by the number you get in the percentage, that works fine as well. So check your answer for correctness. Is 12.5% of 3,600 kilograms, 450 kilograms. And if it is, then this answer is correct. Now, we saw this example before, so we are going to revisit it. It was example 2 in the same second section of this video. If 35% of a certain amount of money is $140, what is the total amount? And we came up with $400 using the fraction concept. There is another method besides the one you were developing about multiplying by 100 and dividing by the number you're given in a percentage. There is another method. Now, so this was one way that we looked at, express the percentage as a fraction. There is another method called the proportion method. Now, recall in primary school that you were given problems such as, if 4 pencils cost $12, how much will 6 pencils cost? Recall what you did. You found the price for 1 and then you multiplied by 6. Well, we will use the same reasoning with the intention of finding 100%. In other words, you see the 6 here? That 6 will always be 100. So it's even easier than your primary school work. So consider, if 35% is $140, then 1% will be $140 divided by 35. Therefore, 100% will be this amount that you did here for 1 multiply by 100, which gives us back the same 400 that we had down here using the fractional method. So look at this. 140 divide by 35 multiply by 100. Come down here. 140 multiply by 100 divide by 35. You will get the same answer. Let's try another one. We saw this one before too. So we are revisiting this. If 75% of a certain amount of money is $200, what is the total amount of money? So we did the fraction way. You maybe have developed another method by multiplying the number you're given by 100 and dividing by the actual number without the percentage sign. That's your method that you developed. I didn't teach you that. So if 75% is $200, then 1% must be 200 divided by 75. 100% will be that number up there, 200 divided by 75, multiply by 100. And notice what? you got back $266.67. So right now you know two methods of doing this. So right now you know three methods of doing this. Express the percentage as a fraction and then divide by the fraction. You can do the ratio method like this. And I think if you're smart enough, you may have been able to develop your third method from this system here. So really, either way here, you're doing essentially the same thing. So we have looked at calculate the whole given a fraction or a percentage. We have just completed objective 12 in section 1, which is again calculate the whole given a fraction or a percentage. And that brings us to the end of video 2 from objective 12 in section 1.